as soon as we can here. Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Monday, February 6th, 2012. The markets were really range bound today. We really didn't have much to do at all. We did take one trade in the live trading room. We actually took two, but I'll go over this one over here first. Again, for anybody that's new to all this stuff, in the recap you'll be able to see this list of rules. I only have the list for the 4-tick range chart in here. I'll slide it over a little bit for you so you can see it a little clearer. The first thing you want to have is a higher swing pivot, okay, which we got right here. This was a higher swing pivot. The second thing is you want to have the BBC, which is the green line, outside the box. Now the top of the box is a blue dotted line. The bottom of the box is a red dotted line. So you want to have it outside the top or outside the bottom. In this case, the BBC got outside the top of the box. Then you want to get a fresh bubble. That means the red chop band down here is outside the black one. Okay, prior to the pullback. It has to happen at least once prior to the pullback. Alright, in this case it pulled back here. We had a clean pullback. We had no lower high pivots for the longs. And we put an MIT order on right here. We entered, the MIT order was at 1337. It entered us in at 1337.25. Alright, once price moved up 1 point, we had 1 point profit in the trade. We moved our stop to break even, and that's where we ended up getting out right there at break even. On the day, I just want to point out on the day, the low, I believe, was right here, 1333.75, and the high was just put in at 1339. So far today, we have 5 1/4 point range. Okay, just 5 1/4 points. We didn't have many trade setups at all in here. You can see on the 4-tick range, when the market's really choppy and it doesn't really move anywhere, you're not going to get a ton of bars. All right, you're not going to get it's not going to print, just junk for you to get false signals off of. It's just not going to print anything. It'll stay in 1 bar. If it's stuck in a point range, it'll stay on 1 bar for as long as it's stuck in that 1 point range. From 10 o'clock to now, for 2 hours, we only have probably, looks like about 30 bars in a 4-tick range thing. That's not many. If you go back over here to the 10,000 contract, there were opportunities that started to set up on the 10,000 contract, but we didn't take any of them because there were other things that were preventing us from taking them. Like right here on this pullback, after the bullish cross right here, we couldn't take this because we had resistance right up above us. It dropped down here, and we couldn't take a pullback over here, or we didn't take the pullback over here. At the time, we didn't take this trade. I wasn't actually looking at it. I remember the guys asked me if I took it, and I said no. I think what I was focused on at the time, and I don't know why you can't see them here right now, but was the weekly trading zones down below us. Then the thing moved up, and over here, we weren't going to trade into the resistance. All right, and that was the end of the morning show. The end of the morning session. The 2100 tick at the time, the cycle was on the wrong side. Okay, right here when it pulled back after the bullish cross, the cycle was on the wrong side. The only trade that actually came together properly was the YM over here, but we didn't take that one because we were looking over here at the time. There was a trade that I took, if I can bring it over here. I took one trade on the YM this morning, but I messed up my entry on it, so I got out of it quickly. It was right in here. 76 is where I entered the trade, and I ended up getting out with 1 tick profit on it. But you can see it went from 76 up to 87. It went 11 ticks in favor of the trade. The setup over here is something that we went over in the partners meeting last week. I actually recorded it Friday morning. I recorded the whole morning, not the whole morning session, but the first hour of the morning session when I was taking this trade setup. Fortunately, on Friday we had more movement than we did this morning. There were some opportunities using this setup this morning, but I did not use them. I only took the one trade from this setup this morning, and that was it. Let's see. I'm going to slide that off. I'll show you some things on the 6E. Alright. That last chart was a 4-tick range YM. Okay. For everyone that's a partner, we went over how to trade that in the partners meeting last week. Okay. This one here on the 6E. Now the 6E this morning went from zone to zone to zone to zone, actually, I think. If we scroll back, if it allows me to scroll back here. There it goes. This was the movement from zone to zone, then back up to the other zone, then actually it kept moving up from that one and almost to the zone above it. Okay. The trade setups over here on the 6E, they would have been, I didn't actually take that one. That's got the yellow arrow. I didn't actually take it. I was pointing something out when I drew that arrow on there. On the 6E, I'll just point out what the trade setups were. Okay, we didn't take any this morning on the 6E. We'll just start in here. When the white goes up and it's to the left, the close up above the MA1, the risk would be down here, down below here. Okay, so you just simple couple of steps there. You're just looking for the white to turn up and be on the left of the green. All right, and the close up above the MA1. The risk is going to be below the swing pivot that got you into it, and in this case, the target would have been the zone right up above us. All right, when it turned around and it started to come down, same thing. The white is on the left of the green, leading it. Entry would be on the close down below the MA1. All right. Now, this was earlier on this morning. I took this trade this morning and I got a break even on it. This was in the pre-market. I went short over here and I ended up getting break even over here. Okay. I went short here and it gave about 5 or 6 ticks. Okay. After the white was on the left of the green, we had the close down below. We were coming off the weekly trading zone. I shorted, and then it ran out of energy, and it started to move up. So I got out of the trade, and then I had to leave. But you can see right here, when it switched directions and it went up, the close above the MA1, right there would have been the place to enter. Again, switch directions. It's on the left. Move down. Okay, and that was it for a little while. Alright, we got in here. There were some small movements in here. Possible stop out would have been right here. Alright, if you got into this one right here, your risk would have been down below here, so you would have stopped out there. You would have missed this one on the stop out, and then you could have gone long again off of the zone right here. That went right up to the zone above. Okay? I just want to point these things out to you guys. I didn't actually take those trades. That's on the 6E 500 contract. We're starting to look more at the euro and other markets in the in the European arena that are actually moving, because the ES stuck in a 5-point range all morning. Tough to trade. We did get one trade off on it. It gave us a break even. The YM using the 4-tick range was tradable, but we didn't jump all over it this morning. We started out with the ES. We thought we were going to have some trades on the ES, and then by the time we realized we were range bound and not going anywhere, it seemed senseless to jump onto the YM. The YM wasn't really moving around all that much either. You can see it was pretty much range bound too. Let's see. That was pretty much it from the morning session, guys. We didn't have a ton of things going on in there, just due to the lack of range and volume on the ES. We did have a nice move up Friday, and then a nice drawdown overnight in the Globex. I'm sure Dwayne's probably going to go over that. If you looked at the naked 2100 tick, Dwayne will go over that too, I think. He'll be going over that in a couple of minutes. There were a couple of opportunities on the naked 2100 tick. All right. I think I'm going to stop the recording here, and I'll let Dwayne come back on. You can go over the naked 2100 tick, and then we can move on to Vegas. All right. If anybody has any questions, just type them in, and I will be happy to answer them. All right.